everyone. Welcome to this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series brought to you by Patranya Media LLC and Parkway Media Partners. I'm your host, Patranya Poonswan, and I'm so happy to be introducing two of my guests who are in the studio with me today. First is Rob Rink. He's the president of Pinnacle Lending Group, Inc., based right here in Las Vegas. And also along with him, we have Andrew Leavitt, who is a loan officer at Pinnacle Lending Group, Inc. Thank you both so much for being here in the studio with me today.
Thanks for having us.
It's so great to hear from you, and especially in the industry that you're in. Here in Nevada, Las Vegas especially, is growing so much. And it's so great to highlight. Our show is all about highlighting entrepreneurs, businesses, big and small, and how they kind of give back and work in the community and really works for everyone. And I think that's kind of your motto. So, Rob, let me start with you. If people have never heard of Pinnacle Lending Group, what do you guys do here in town?
We're basically a mortgage company that is out to help everybody, from beginning first purchase to people that are purchasing for the second, third, fourth time. Or we also help small commercial obtain a loan for business loans or business purpose loans.
So you work with both homeowners and business owners.
Correct.
As well with the company. So you've been around, and I believe since 2006.
That's
is that
correct.
right? Is that when you started? Was that your background? Have you always been in this business before you started this company?
No. Prior to that, I worked for Station Casinos.
Oh.
I was being groomed to become one of the VIPs there, but chose that or decided I wanted something for myself.
What is it about this industry, though, with mortgage and loans and things like that appealed to you when you started this business?
Real estate. Real estate is, I'm driven through real estate and helping people.
Yeah, for sure.
There's enjoyment in helping people get what they, one of the biggest purchases they've ever made in their entire lifetime, and seeing the enjoyment from, getting them what they didn't think that they could obtain.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I think, we have so much to learn, I think, from both of you and what you do here. But Andrew, let me get to you. You started with the company about, is it 5 years ago?
About 5.5, give or take.
Were you in the hospitality business before as well, or what was your background?
Prior to that, was doing other mortgage companies, more so on the underwriting aspect side of it, so more operations background.
Okay. And what is it that drew you to Pinnacle Lending?
It's an unbeatable platform. It's one of the things where they can offer less stress with the process that they have. They cut out a lot of the middleman processes, and they're meticulous in the details.
Yeah. So tell me about what you do. And you're a loan officer, but obviously you do a lot of the company. Tell me about your role there.
So, my most vital role is simply taking clients from step A to Z, or funding. And so, as Rob kind of pointed out, one of the things that we do really well is if you've had troubles getting a home loan in the past, whether it's been a decline or you just haven't been able to qualify or the payment was too much, that's where we really excel at, is we really dive into it, and we can give a lot more options to clients just based off the programs that we have.
Yeah. So talk to me about how this market has been. I mean, you obviously have worked with this company for 5 years, but you've seen how this city and Southern Nevada has grown. So talk to me about that experience for you as someone in this industry.
So, Vegas is this ever-changing machine, right? It's a small town, but it's not, but it still has that small town feel. And so, we have a really strong community here, and the community that actually makes Vegas run every day, that's kind of where we excel at, is we can get into some of the lower income programs that they could qualify for, or some of the lower FICO programs that they can qualify for. And, with this being a mini New York City per se, being able to offer our local community and the people that are, make our city run, that's one of the best things about it, is as it grows, so do we, and so does what our offerings are.
And, we have some pictures that you sent us of you getting out there in the community as well, both you and Rob. And talk to me about that. I mean, obviously, this city, Rob, has grown so much. And you've been here total how many years living and working here in Las Vegas?
Oh, man, forever.
A long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to age you. You've been here a long time. So what is it that makes this such a great place for a company like yours to grow?
Just to see the communities and the growth in the communities of where you've actually come from, and to see where they're growing to. It's nice to go and give some of our time in around where I went to high school.
Yeah.
It's we did an event around Christmas time, and just to see some of those families in the general area of where I went to high school and give back to them was really nice.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously this has been changing times, not just for people looking to buy homes, but people in your business, especially with the pandemic the last few years. Talk to us about the impact of that. If people don't know what your industry has gone through, talk to me about how that's changed in the last few years.
Well, unfortunately, with government affairs coming into place, and inflation kicking in, it really affects what we can offer. As far as the interest rates go, our hands are tied. Our interest rates are affected by that daily. So they've increased substantially over the course of the last year. They've more than doubled. So we've had to.
There are things that you cannot control.
Correct.
Right? But then obviously you're doing your part with your company with what you can control.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we do is we give as much as we can. Even we do greater cuts in what we do to help the community or our borrowers, so that we can still get them a good deal and get them into a house.
And obviously, because you've been doing this for so long, you know all the information and you have the resources to help make this happen. Is there a particular, but either you or Andrew can answer this, because I think when people are thinking about this, maybe they're thinking of getting their first home, and how do we make this possible? What are some of the things that, maybe Andrew, you can answer this, first thing that when they come to you, what are the first things that you're telling them? What do they need to think about?
So the biggest thing is that there's a lot of mortgage companies out there, but there's a lot of ways that we do business, and three of them specifically is you have your wholesale brokers, you have your banks that look like a bank, but they're not really a bank. And then you do have your traditional mortgage bankers, which is what Pinnacle is.
Right.
And one of the first things that we can give to a client is we control the process. The underwriters are in our company. If there's a problem or an issue that we can't get figured out, our president is local here, and it's a matter of having a simple conversation and explaining, okay, this is what the this is what the compensating factors are of why we should say yes on this and get this transaction done. And a lot of companies can't do that.
And I think that just having everything in-house for you and having all the information, do you think that, is there a story, maybe a current client or just someone who just came to you recently that really stood out as a story that you were able to help them?
Absolutely. We had one client that was referred over by the agent. They were quoted an interest rate that was 0.5% higher than ours. And they were being declined due to debt-to-income ratio issues. And so just simply by us able to lowering their rate to what they were able to purchase the property with, not only resulted them in a payment that was more affordable, but it was able to fix that debt-to-income ratio issue. And so they were able to close. So from that client's perspective of about a week away from escrow, losing their dream home now, and being able to go ahead and turn that around and still getting it funded, not extending the escrow by more than 4 days, and still making them a homeowner. That was, that's why we do what we do. That's the drive.
And as Rob was saying, it's all about helping people. Was there a story that kind of stood out to you over the years that you worked with here in Las Vegas that's just kind of like stuck with you and said, this is the reason why we do this here at Pinnacle Lending?
I had a first-time borrower. Purchasing an $80,000 condo, and some might turn a blind eye to it or say I don't really want to help that individual because that price was pretty low. And we took him in. We don't care. It doesn't matter. But that individual is stuck with us, and recently they just purchased a $700,000 property.
Wow.
And in between that time, they've purchased 4 homes with us. So it's seeing the growth through the years with that one individual. And it's rewarding knowing you helped somebody that started out at a beginning point like that and where they're at now.
And how do you kind of stand out, obviously, the things that you do and being transparent and giving all that information, but what else do you think, since you started this company to where it is now, that kept people coming back or keep people referring their clients to you?
Well, the fact that Pinnacle is run more as a family environment, the fact that we have the local ties in the community. We're not a big corporate
just a big name company that people hear, but obviously you guys have people in the community that works for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
It gives us more of an advantage that way.
Yeah.
And it's more rewarding.
What about you, Andrew?
Well, it's kind of just like how Las Vegas is. It's a big city, but it's a small city,
right.
and everyone
Small
does
town.
kind of and we all know each other, and especially when you get industry specific, it becomes a very small town, and that's where we excel at. Is that we have the big corporate power with the human element still at our core.
Yeah. And again, we're talking here with Rob Rink, who's the president of Pinnacle Lending Group, and Andrew Leavitt, and he's the loan officer there as well. Been there quite a few years. I know that you're working in 17 states?
Correct.
17 states. Talk to us about that growth. Maybe there are people listening and watching right now and say, hey, maybe I'm in this industry, maybe just starting out and wanting to grow the business. What's been your process, and what are the challenges that you faced along the way growing this?
Financially, we were a small company. I mean, I started out with a brokerage of 4, and we grew to about 85 individuals, and then we had the pullback last year and a half ago during COVID, and after COVID, I think we went down to about 55, 60 individuals. But the growth came during the refi boom, which was during COVID, and that's when we started going outside of our elements, and we decided to grow because there was people that needed help outside of the state of Nevada.
Right.
So we decided the growth was acceptable to us, and that's where we started going. And we figured if we're going to help them in Nevada, we can help them in other states as well.
Is that where you see the industry growing? That it's not just a one state thing. This has to be something kind of nationwide.
Not necessarily. I mean, Nevada is our home here, and that's where we want to help most people. But if there is business out there, and we feel that we can help them, we're gonna take it there.
And you see, Andrew, that people are coming here more? Like, what are you seeing as a trend out there when it comes to your business and what you do?
So, our neighboring states, such as California, Arizona, Washington, and even though it's across the country, Florida, our retirees that are moving out of Nevada, that's kind of where we excel at, because we have those state partnerships or licensing where we can do business in those states. But usually when our retirees are leaving, their kids, their grandkids, those are people that are focused on looking at Nevada because of the no income tax for their employment.
Right.
And so as one generation leaves, 2 or 3 generations are moving in. And so that's kind of the best part is the seed was planted originally with some of our homegrown grassroots clientele, and then we're able to go ahead and help them wherever they might transition for the most part in their financial goals. The biggest thing about owning a home is it builds wealth. It's the most common way, the easiest way for someone who doesn't have wealth to build wealth. And, going back to the story of an $80,000 condo, just look at the example of wealth that was grown where they're buying a $700,000 property. And that's, there's no bigger gift in my opinion.
And it's such a dream, right? And it's still for a lot of people wanting to buy that first home. But as we were talking earlier, it's not always seemed feasible for a lot of people out there, especially after the pandemic, and they've been affected financially. But you said that here in Las Vegas, what makes it kind of unique is the kind of offers and the kind of programs that are available. So talk to us about that.
So let's say that your income is a little bit high on the higher side. One of the programs that is offered through Pinnacle Lending Group is we allow for a higher debt to income ratio expense if you're in a lower income area. And so how we define that is we look at what the household size is, how many people are in the household essentially, and we look at that income versus what the area median income limit is.
Yeah.
And if you're below that, then that's where we can get incredibly flexible with debt to income ratios, or getting you programs that require less down, a lower interest rate, and just less restrictions overall. And that's how we can make people that are not making millions of bucks a year and making the average salary here in Las Vegas around $43,000 and still make them a homeowner.
Yeah, and it just seems like so much information, but I know, Rob, that you said you're getting out in the community, letting people know about Pinnacle. Anything else that you're doing that you're planning to do in the next year or two to kind of get the word out about what you do even more?
On top of what we do a lot of. You stumped me on that one, but
like informational stuff. Do you get out there in the community for that, or
we do?
Yeah.
We partner up with the GLVAR. They're across the street from us, so we do a lot of.
That works.
We have a lot of relational work with them. So that's how we get our name out. We have with our partnership with our realtors. That's where most of our business comes from. And then we have some of our community ties that tie in with that as well.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things, too, is that we also participate with a lot of the state agency programs. So one of them, for example, is the Nevada Mortgage Lenders Association. One of the ways that we want to give back is doing a class with the deputy director of HUD. And so Pinnacle is partnering with them along with the NMLA, or the Nevada Mortgage Lenders Association, to bring some instructors out and show people, hey, here's how you can actually grow to our level as a banker as well. And here's kind of some of the ways that we did it. And, at the end of the day, there's enough business for all of us. And we're encouraging really every loan officer and really everyone out there in the industry to help grow, because at the end of the day, that's part of giving back.
Yeah. And you have to have, like you said, Rob, a great relationship, especially with the realtors and people who work with them. Any kind of advice you have, especially people coming into this industry, and you started this a while ago, but looking back, what kind of advice would you have for people starting this business?
My advice would be impatient and stick with it. It's not going to come to you right away, but if you continue to stay on top of it, it will come to you. But it takes a lot of being impatient.
And I think, is this something that you pass on, obviously, as a leader of this company and passing this on to younger people coming in the business? Do you feel like that's kind of what you want to kind of give them right away as advice?
Yes, a lot of repetition, and it's just day in and day out. It's the same thing. If you stick by it, it'll come to you tenfold.
Yeah, and you've been in the company for a while now. What's your advice to other people, maybe doing what you do, maybe not even just in your company, but in this industry in general?
Fail often and keep moving forward and just get back up. That's the biggest thing with our industry is a lot of people don't try, or they'll give up. And so where he mentions being impatient, that's kind of the key of it, is drive to your point where you want to go for success. And if you don't get there, stick with it and keep on top of it. I mean, to this day, Rob still runs in my office. Well, not runs, but he'll you need to look at this. Check this out. This is good information. And that's kind of the best part, is everyone in our company gets the same treatment. There's that constant evolution of, okay, well, we should look here. We should get everyone's opinion. We should share this information so that we all can grow. And that's how you take a small 4-man broker to a 17-state enterprise. Yeah.
And what do you foresee, Rob, in the next year or two, just in the market and how that's affected people buying homes here in Southern Nevada?
I see regulation still being a little tough, but I do see rates coming down, making it more affordable for people to come in and purchase.
Yeah.
It will lighten up a little bit more for our business to grow again.
Yeah, and especially, I know you work with both homeowners, residential side, but on the commercial side, what do you foresee for that?
Well, the commercial is still, when they come to Pinnacle Lending Group for business, they're coming on a business purpose loan. They're coming to us, and the growth on that side is still strong. As you see the growth in the surroundings of Las Vegas, you see that it's been nonstop. So it's still flourishing on that side, and the rates have not affected that.
Okay. So you're positive with how things are going. If people are thinking, should I come do business here? Should I move here to Nevada? What are you telling these people?
Well, I mean, when you see news articles, usually, they're across the United States. They're not really affected by the community of Las Vegas.
Right.
We're almost on an island of our own because of all of the growth and the different industries that we've attracted. It's different nowadays. So we don't take that into account anymore when you're looking at what the national average is and things like that. We don't see that slow down.
We're its own beast over here.
We haven't seen the depreciation of homes as greatly as you have seen in different parts of the country. So it's different here because you've already had the equipment in the ground. You've already had the sticks going up. So for us, we're already positive, and we know that it's going to continue.
And Andrew, for you working in a company like Pinnacle, do you feel like that gives you a leg up in terms of dealing with potential clients coming in because you know that you have the resources you need within your company?
Absolutely. There's no lack of confidence in our ability to fulfill. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of, all right, what's going to be our most easiest path for you? And maybe it's not the easiest, but it's easy for Pinnacle because of the resources that we have that just, it's unlimited. It's an unlimited match that other companies just can't, be up to par with, really.
Yeah. What are your plans, professionally in the next year or so?
So, been at Pinnacle for a while, going to be here for a lot longer.
Yeah. Rob's like, that's good to know.
Over the course of my career within this industry, there's not been any other company that can offer what Pinnacle offers to its clients and also to its loan officers employed with it. So I foresee really the value continuing to grow. Construction really hasn't stopped anywhere. No matter where you turn, our state flower could be the cone or the construction cone versus anything else. But the reality is that there's a lot of availability and a lot of focus that's going to be given more so to the construction path types of home loans, of people being able to build what they want, and also to the commercial sector as well.
Yeah, and I have two amazing guys in here in the room, but I have to ask, it's International Women's History Month,
yes.
And I know you have some amazing women working in the firm as well. And Rob, talk to us about that, about the growth of women in this industry, and what have you seen, and how have you been supportive of what they do in this field?
Well, I look at it, no different than the man side of it. I mean, I have a great group. I can tell you that. It's a second family. Most of the time I spend more time with them than I do my actual family. But we have some really wonderful people at Pinnacle Lending Group, so I can't say enough about them.
And people want to come join the firm, men or women. I mean, what's your advice to them, and what do you want to tell them about, how your company can help shape kind of their future and their career?
Well, we're always looking for good individuals, and if you've got the talent, we're looking to bring you on.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear. So this business is still growing, Andrew.
Absolutely. And, just to touch on the women's aspect of it, our most senior executive officer at the company is a woman, and that's who runs, as his right-hand side, is one of the vice presidents for the company. So there's definitely plenty of opportunity within for either or.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we go? If people want to reach out to you, Rob and Andrew, and need your help, whether they be on the residential side or business side, what do you want to tell them?
Well, Pinnacle's always going to be around. We're going to be around, and we're available. So I know that if you have any questions whatsoever, we're always available to take your call. And no question is going to be left unanswered. So give us a call. And
you're also already giving us so much information. How can they reach out to you, Andrew?
So one of the other things that we have as a DBA is Pay It Forward Lending. If they go to that website, payitforwardlending.com, we have a ton of free resources for people, whether they're looking to fix their credit,
that's great,
whether they're looking to figure out how to qualify or what some of their holdbacks are. It's all for free. It's downloadable on the website. So that would be, if you want some general information without getting a call from us, that's the easiest way to do it. And then, of course, give us a call. We're happy to help anytime.
All right. Pinnacle Lending Group, been around since 2006 and continues to grow. Rob, congratulations on all your success and everything you've done, obviously, for this community. And Andrew, best of luck to you. And I know you guys are doing great work in the community. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your story.
Thanks for having us.
All right. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for watching and listening this episode of Entrepreneur Showcase Series. And we'll see you again next time.